In this pencast, we'll be solving equations and formulas for a specified variable. So the first problem says, solve r equals 3p minus 7 for p. Alright, so let's rewrite our equation here. We have r equals 3p minus 7. It says we need to solve for p. So we want to get this in the form p equals something. Alright, so to do that, the first thing we need to do is add 7 to both sides of the equation. That leaves us with r plus 7 equals 3p. Alright, so to get rid of the 3, now we need to divide both sides by 3. So we have r plus 7 over 3 is equal to 3p over 3. So the 3's cancel out on this side, and we're left with just r plus 7 over 3 is equal to p. So if we turn that around, we get p is equal to r plus 7 over 3. And that's our answer. So the second problem says, solve a equals pi r squared for r. So you might recognize this as the area for a circle, where r is the radius. But the principle that we're using is the same. So we have a equals pi r squared. And we want to turn that into r equals something, because it's asking us to solve for r. So the first step here is to divide both sides by pi. So a over pi equals pi r squared over pi. The pi's are going to cancel out on the right side, and we're left with just a over pi is equal to r squared. Alright. So now, we have r squared on the right side, but we want to just have r. So to get rid of the squared, we need to take the square root of both sides. So a over pi, we're going to take the square root of that whole thing, and that's equal to the square root of r squared. So the square root cancels out the exponent on the right side, and we're just left with a over pi, square root of a over pi is equal to r. Or r is equal to the square root of a over pi. Alright, so let's say we wanted to check our answer to make sure it's right. So we're going to do a little check over here. So we started out with the original equation, a equals pi r squared. And we solved for r. So now we know that r is equal to the square root of a over pi. So what we're going to do is actually plug that in for r in our new equation. So we have a equals pi, and then instead of r, we're going to plug in the square root of a over pi squared. And what we want to do is end up with a equals a here. So on the right side, we need to do some simplifying. So the squared and the square root cancel out. So we're left with a is equal to pi times a over pi. So the pi's cancel out, and we're left with a is equal to a. And that means that we came up with the correct value for r.